からはあいつの唇優しく抱きしめてくれと願う
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Planet Tyro. You're back here with me, Donald Wonder, to celebrate the year of Lupin in 2016. Thanks for watching, guys. If you were here on the last video, we were actually speaking about the Lupin TV special, which was called The Last Job. Now, obviously, it was not the last job since we're still continuing the retrospective. If you want to check out that video, click on the top right hand corner. You'll see the YouTube card there. It will take you back to that video. But we're moving on to the next job, which is 2011's Blood Seal Eternal Mermaid. Now, as usual, I do not like to get into spoilers because I want you guys to watch the plot and see all the little nitty gritty things so we can continue the conversation. But the plot in a nutshell, again, which is super simple, is that in the beginning of this special, Lupin is roped into doing something for this boss lady because she's kidnapped Fujiko. And if Lupin doesn't go and get this mermaid item, he's going to kill Fujiko. And obviously, if you've seen these movies 100 times, you know that Fujiko's kind of in on it. But one of the first twists is that this lady that hires Lupin or blackmails Lupin to do this job, she actually ends up getting killed by the real protagonist of the story, which is the guy you can see on the screen here. I think his name is Hamuro or anything. And basically, the story's got to do with two sisters. And basically, the treasure is tied to immortality and tied to something to do with possibly mermaid flesh or mermaid's blood. And Lupin gets roped into it, and because his first boss was killed, he actually wants to follow the trail to see where this is going. And actually, it's actually revealed later in the special that it's actually got ties to Lupin's grandfather and that he actually followed this treasure as well. So as the plot goes on, you do find out a bit more, but in a nutshell, it's about this treasure, these two sisters, the secret eternal youth or whatever. So let me get into what I thought on the movie overall. Now, again, I hate to be critical, but we're 25 movies in, and the storyline to this movie is super generic. I mean, it's very basic, and there isn't really much to make it dynamic or big surprises. So, generally, well, I'll get to my rating in the end, but I was kind of just meh about this whole story. I was just meh. The characters, well, the two sister characters, they're nice, they're likable. The younger one, who follows Lupin and wants to become Lupin's apprentice to help steal back her sister, she's nice, she's spunky, she's really likable. And the older one, the one that's got those special abilities, she's very motherly, she's very earnest, and it's cool. The villain in this movie is a complete prick. He's just one of them twirly mustaches guys that you love to hate. Very two-dimensional, and every time you just see his smarmy face, you just want to punch this guy in the face. He's got the most annoying, I wish I could say I love to hate him, but again, he's just very one note. Other than that, the Team Lupin are pretty much okay. Nothing really stand out about them. Fujiko again is using Lupin, and again, she was in on it in the beginning. Then she kind of helps the bad guy, and again, I do like the fact that Fujiko uses Lupin more and the bad guy kind of equally in this movie, so she's not just on the bad guy's side. Because I complain that when she's just an enemy or just helping the antagonist too much, it really bothers me. And obviously Lupin's always forgiving her, which is another annoyance. But he's just so horny for her. He's just a sex dog. But the storyline on the whole, with the actual treasure and the mythology behind it, it's typical again. The only standout thing about the story, and believe me, I was pretty bored for this, except for in the middle, Lupin actually starts to question his own, well, not his identity, but the reasons for why he does what he does, which is very surprising. And again, it's tied to his grandfather. His grandfather was doing the same job he was doing, and then there's a point where Lupin just stops and says, "Why do I even steal?" I mean, I think the girl asked him why he's a thief anyway, but Lupin's like, I don't even know why I'm doing this. I just like doing this. Or it was one of them character moments that came out of the blue, and honestly, it's probably the main thing that made the movie stand apart. It doesn't really delve too deep into that, but it's notable. It's the main notable thing. Again, the villain is whatever, and the two last notable things is, number one, the ending gets somewhat violent, more violent than the rest, which is a bit off kilter. The main character morphs into some creature. It actually was kind of annoying and generic, and it was okay action, but you know, meh. So when the whole story was done, I was just like, honestly, this was very meh on the whole, but that's going to reflect in my rating. But let's talk about some of the aesthetics. Now, the animation is good, but not particularly my cup of tea. Now, the animation style they use in this movie is more of the Studio Ghibli Castle and Cagliostro style, where the character designs are a lot softer, the faces are a lot rounder, and actually a lot of the action scenes in this movie, well, I didn't like them. I'll explain why in a minute. But they do a lot of camera stuff. There's a particular scene where this girl's got Lupin on the bicycle and they're making this big escape, which is very preposterous. Even for a Lupin movie, for a girl to be riding Lupin, carrying her on his back and then riding through a building, it was silly as hell. But the camera angles made it look very dynamic and it was cool looking. But the thing is, it looks like Studio Ghibli animation, but the detail for me is not really there. There was one or two scenes, it just looked kind of lazy. So although it has that softer Studio Ghibli look, obviously it's not Studio Ghibli and there's missing details here. I actually think it is well animated, but I prefer the more rougher, colourful style than this lighter, softer palette, especially at the end with the big monster chase or whatever. It didn't really work for me, and there was a tonal shift with the violence I didn't really appreciate, but whatever. And the last notable thing is, this special replaced 3 of the long-standing Japanese seiyus, the Japanese voice actors. I think it was Goemon, Zenigata, and Fujiko. Now, I already complained that most people watching the retrospective, all these movies, were complaining the most about Zenigata. This, you know, I mentioned him in the last discussion as well. He was very old. He didn't have the gumption or the energy to carry on what Zenigata needs. So, you know what, I was sorry to say, I was happy that they replaced it. It was just time. The other characters they replaced, I didn't really feel like they were, you know, Goemon and Fujiko. I thought they were doing okay, but fine. So, how do I feel like these new voice actors play in? I think they're great. They were fine. Zenigata in particular, he does sound very different than the old one, but I like it. He's got the energy he needs. He performed very well. And the voice acting on the whole is fine. I think this is going to be good for the franchise. A little bit more energy. I know these actors, these new ones are younger. The background music, honestly, is completely forgettable. They didn't use a lot of themes at all. I think the last theme for the credits was fine, but it really didn't do anything memorable. And I was actually looking out for it because the animation was so Studio Ghibli-ish. I thought they would use some more background music or whatever. They didn't. So, on a whole, this is the definition of a vanilla and more or less forgettable Lupin adventure. Honestly, the storyline is forgettable. There's nothing really energetic or different to make it stand out from the rest. I was bored for the most part until Lupin had that little introspective moment. Why am I doing this? But honestly, I think it's very forgettable. I don't hate it. Again, it's watchable, but it's vanilla. And you know, 25 movies in, you need to watch stuff that are changing things up, making you more interested in the franchise. I hate to be critical on it this much, but come on, guys, I'm watching 25 of these movies. We gotta see something. And you know, they're still celebrating the 40th year anniversary. I wanted them to be more creative, but I guess it's fine. Some people like it. The outside feedback I saw on the review sites, people thought it was okay. Generally, I'm a little bit more critical on it because I want it to be more creative, but the fans thought it was okay to passable. I still think it's vanilla. But guys, I want to know what your opinion is. Leave your comments in the comment section down below. Agree, disagree, different opinion. I want to hear what you guys think. Again, I love it when we disagree because I get to hear different perspectives. And I've got some of the best commenters on the Lupin fan community. You guys leave great comments, so continue the comments. And you know, let's broaden the scope of the franchise on the feedback, on the discussion. And we're coming close to the end of the Lupin TV specials. I'm sure we've only got 4 or 5 left, so it's going to be a interesting one. And guys, I'm going to give you a little bit of an update. At the time of uploading these videos, I'm going to slow down on the Lupin releases because I do want to spread it out to the end of the year. So there might be some weeks on the channel that you won't see Lupin videos. We are going to finish. We're right near the end. At the time of this recording, we're in September now. So I got to stretch it out and I got to take a break. I'm on holiday. So, but obviously, if you're in the future and all the videos are out, none of this even matters. So just an FYI. So anyway, guys, that is that. hit the subscribe button if you like the content, if you like Planet Tyro, if you like our videos. We really do appreciate it. If you want to check out any of our other videos we do, look on the right there. You'll see all those annotations to books, movies, TV shows, what have you. We're still celebrating the year of Lupin in 2016 and even in 2017 because we got to talk about the TV series, guys. Yes, I will be covering the TV series as well. But this year, 2016, I'm doing the movies first, the TV specials, TV series next year. And I'm all out of breath, guys. I'm going to leave you right there. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one, guys. Take care. Peace out.